Okay, I call the meeting to order. It's a what, 5 after
Oh, I don't
6?
know.
What time is it?
6:08.
6:08. Okay, we had technical difficulties once again. Okay, it's myself, Don, Missy, and Sarah at the table here. Brendan's on the phone, and Tim is supposed to call in, and the others apparently can't make it tonight. Okay, so we have a quorum, and the previous meeting minutes look fine to me. Anybody see anything they want to add or subtract? No? Okay. Huh? Did somebody say something? Brendan, did you say?
I said no, Bob, sorry.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Okay, so somebody make a motion to accept the minutes from our last meeting on the 12th of May.
Hold on, I want to actually say one thing about making a motion. I've noticed that people are making motions that aren't here at the meeting before, and I don't think that that's allowed. So I
Okay,
was just thinking that like I would make a motion, but I wasn't
you
here,
can't.
so.
Okay, I was here.
okay, yeah, I was here. Make a motion to approve the minutes. I second it. Okay,
Hold on, Tim's calling.
okay.
Hi,
Hi there.
hold on, I'm gonna merge, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna merge you with Brendan, one sec.
Right. Okay, we have one person that knows how to do all this.
All right, do we have both of you?
Yes.
I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah. I
Great.
feel younger. Being merged with him, I feel younger.
Okay. I'm glad that works for you. Yeah, okay, all right, so a motion, I second the motion to approve the minutes. Everybody in favor, say aye.
Hi.
Aye. Anyone opposed? No. Abstain? No. Okay. Director's report. Don, give it to us, please.
Okay, the following programs are ending this week for the season. They include women's basketball, men's basketball, adult volleyball, Zumba fitness, adult soccer, and adult softball. There were 181 registered participants in these programs this spring, and thanks to all who participated, contributed to the success of each program. Ongoing stuff right now, we still have tennis going on Saturdays and Sunday mornings into September at Cross Lane Park. Pickleball sessions, I won't go into details here, they'll be in the minutes. They're still ongoing, probably right through September as well. Upcoming programs, participants from both the men's and women's basketball program are wanting to continue gathering and extend their season through the summer. We are currently discussing the situation, which mainly will require reserving days and times at Cross Lane courts. That's how busy we're getting down there. We got to start reserving court time. So jump on the wagon. The spring pickleball tournament that was scheduled for Saturday, June 7th at Cross Lane Park has been postponed and will be rescheduled. Updates will follow. Summer day camp and aftercare. Summer day camp scheduled to run from June 25th through August 1st. Registration is ongoing. Currently, there are 279 participants registered for a day camp and 52 for aftercare. The two soccer camps are still scheduled to happen. The Lime camp is June 23rd through 27th at Townwoods, and the O-Line Park and Rec camp is scheduled for August 4th through 8th at Townwoods Park. Summer staff assembling is still in process for day camp supervisors, counselors in training, lifeguards, and parking lot attendants. We're anticipating having 50 seasonal employees and approximately 30 volunteer CITs on staff. Day camp staff training and camp setup dates are scheduled for June 18th, 19th, 23rd, and 24th. Lifeguards are scheduled to start June 14th, and parking lot attendants have already started. The facilities, Cross Lane Park is in daily operation with Little League baseball and softball, pickleball, tennis, and basketball. Townwoods Park, currently in use by Lacrosse Club, Soccer Club, Lima Lime Little League, and Parks and Rec. Grade 5 students from Monarch Free School will have their field day on Thursday, June 12th. Haynes Park, rowing activities are active on a daily basis. The Oline Rowing Association National Learn to Row Day event is scheduled for this Saturday, June 7th. White Sand Beach, the gazebo repairs have been completed. The beach cleaning schedule has started. Swim marker buoys have been installed. And just a note that swim lines and the regular swim floats are not required for the requirements of our deep permit. So if you don't see them down there, that's why. Lifeguard stand is expected to be installed early next week. And on Friday, June 6th, tomorrow, grade 1 and grade 4 students from Mile Creek School will have their field day trip down there in the morning. That's it.
Okay, Don, any comments?
Wait, so there's no swim lines, you're saying?
There's no actual swim lines and floats. Deep says we don't need them.
So are kids, like the kids that want to like go out on a paddleboard or whatever, can they still go off to the sides or?
We'll just probably direct them to go off next to the jetty. Well,
Yeah, where they would normally. Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to make comment. I saw the improvements to the pavilion that was done by Eric, our facilities guy. Looked very good that he replaced the board and the step looks good. And he's also going to, I believe, paint the railings.
Yes.
I tried to shake that pavilion like a monkey, couldn't move it. It's very stable with the iron cross beams. So I think that pavilion's in good shape for this coming season. Anybody else want to comment? No?
Thank you, Don.
Okay, yeah, Don, thanks. And rest up for the busy season coming up. Summer finally arrived here. Okay, going back to old business next. Goose mitigation at Haynes Park. There's still some geese there. The coyotes broke or were taken. I spoke to Don.
Again.
Again, yeah, we're gonna get some more. However, I have noticed being very close to where that park is and going by several times a day that I don't see as many geese there as before. And even the mom and dad geese don't have huge litters anymore. There's like one or two. So maybe Adeline helped by the Rogers Lake Authority. So, and as far as the goose scram goes, we'll wait to do that until the geese problem becomes a problem. But when it does, we can get a Safe Lawns of Salem out there and make an application. And it supposedly works very well. We'll find out. Any questions on that? Nope. Going on then. The Survey Monkey, we discussed that at length. Sarah, you said something about a summary letter. Are you gonna, or
Oh,
just, we
yeah,
don't have to do that if you don't want?
No, I did it.
Yeah,
I just haven't sent it because there were a couple points that I wanted to make sure that Don had talked to Martha about first.
okay.
So I was gonna confirm that tonight and then I can send them this week.
Oh,
They're already written.
okay. Oh, good.
Yeah, I
Good.
sent them around, I think, in May 15th.
You sent them around? I never got it.
I'll forward it back to you.
Yeah, I don't think I ever got anything.
Sure.
But then again, I was gone for about 2.5 weeks, but
Okay.
I still check when I get back.
Mhm.
Okay, that's good. Okay, the next one, the Haynes Park Pavilion. We decided not to do that at this time. And that, the good news is that when I contacted, Bill, Nadeau from, the Barnyard, he finally got my email. It was in a junk folder for a while. And on May 29th, he wrote back that we should receive a check within a week or two of the town for the deposit we had down of $5,776. And he asked us to keep him in mind if we ever need anything from their company. And Bill's a real good guy, and I talked to him and appreciate what he's done for us over this particular matter. The Playscape location, installation, and pathway. Don and Sarah, you want to comment on that? Because I wasn't around, and
Yeah, sure.
comment, please.
Yeah, so we met with Dave Catalano, Don, myself, and Eric down at the site, and Dave provided me just an hour ago a markup of where we discussed placing the playground with its regulatory boundaries and he's gonna go out tomorrow to stake it so that we can take a look. So I can let everyone know by email once it's staked out, so you can kind of go look at it. And then the next step would just be ordering it and finalizing it, and then Eric would submit our markup
Mhm.
to the zoning. Is that right? Eric Knapp?
Yes.
For final approval, and then we can get it ordered and proceed. And then Dave also provided me, I know it's on your list, but he provided me picnic tables options, which I can talk about when you get.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and Dave agreed that that area we generally talked about before has plenty of room for this.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, so
No
that's good.
question.
Any comments? Don, you were there? No, you're good? Tim and Brendan, anything to say about that?
No, just thank you for everything that you do. Jeez,
Yeah.
that's great work.
Sounds great. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, yeah, thank you, Sarah, Don, and Eric, three main players that are taking care of that. Okay, so that, now I think the only thing to determine is what type of pathway we're gonna put in there. And we're probably gonna have to hire somebody, because I don't think, unless the public works guys would put in reinforced turf or something, we're gonna have to put in some pathway to get to the, and I guess we could determine what to do once the
Mhm.
the playscape is in.
I think so.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. The cleanup of the Haynes Park Beach. What, hey, did that move forward at all?
I talked to Ed, about that, and I'm working on getting that scheduled.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
And the more, we, ideally, it'd be great if they could do it once a week, but if
Yes.
not, whatever we can get would be an improvement. Yeah, okay.
Thanks. And is it all right if I include that in my letter to Martha? Is she aware of our request on that, or? do you
I
want to
didn't talk to Martha about that. I went right to Ed because
Okay.
Martha wasn't available
Yeah, you
at
may
the
wanna-
time, so I skipped that step and went to Ed.
Are you okay if I have it in the letter? Because I think it's currently in the letter.
That's fine.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
Okay.
Put it in the
They're
letter.
not gonna be in tomorrow, so I can't even talk about it tomorrow, but
Okay,
I'll talk to her on
I
Monday.
didn't want to get ahead of it. if
She's
you-
not gonna complain about it being in there.
Okay,
Okay, well, that'd be great. Yeah, just include that maybe in the letter.
Yeah.
Okay,
what'd you say?
Huh?
I don't know.
okay, the next thing is the Haynes Park picnic tables. We decided to put 2 or 3 picnic tables out there. I just want to remind everyone that at one point when we're gonna have a pavilion, we talked about an ADA
Mhm.
table like that. I think this type of table would really be good to connect to the sidewalk
Mhm.
and see if that's gonna suffice for a wheelchair kind of to be in it. The really long tables I looked at too. These are the recycled plastic ones. It comes in all different types of colors. I'm sorry, Tim and Brendan, you can't see the colors, but it shows what the colors are going to look like outside and inside. So the outside, my suggestion would be to have dark colored tabletops and benches, because if they get dirty, you won't see the dirt as much. What do you got? We have Sarah and Missy and Don here. What do you think? This is, the tabletops can be, and the seats, either brown, I think the lighter colors might show dirt more.
They're gonna be dark green to match kind of the building.
Yeah.
I think the dark one.
green, if all the accents down there are dark green, it might look nice to have the
It's either
green.
that one or dark green.
Yeah.
I would say.
I would go with the green, and they're both to match everything else that's down there, and it's a darker color, so it's
Yeah.
hard to write on.
Yeah,
That one.
And it's harder to, if there's food stuff, it's harder to see
Yeah.
the mess.
Yeah, but that's gross.
yeah. I think that's good. The only thing I was mentioning is Dave mentioned that his business has tables too, so I was gonna give it a look, just as also a courtesy to him.
Yeah, we
Want
could,
to
yeah.
work for us,
But
so.
these are guaranteed for
Yeah.
this
He-
this
He may
company
have the same ones. is all I'm
is
saying.
American recycled plastic. Nothing can rust on these things, and even if you put the stainless steel hardware doesn't rust.
Okay.
So can I interrupt about tables quickly? Like, have we considered the powder coated, like, we have at LYSB 2 tables like this, but they're like the powder coated that have holes in them, so you can't write on them. Like, we've had them for
Oh,
at least 10 years and there's no issues with them because people aren't writing on them. They're not engraving into them. They're not doing anything because they're like, you know, honeycomb type
Oh, it's like metal.
thing. Yeah,
I think there's one in the back here, isn't it?
maybe, but you can get it in a green or whatever.
Yeah, the kind she's talking about is not like out there.
Yeah. Okay,
The tabletops are just a deterrent to writing on them.
they're kind of powder coated metal,
Carving
but
initials in them.
Well, and they don't get as dirty. Like, you're not like if you're spilling, you know, eating a sandwich and you're spilling ketchup, it falls there on the ground and then the rain wash. I don't know. It just,
well, that's a good idea. Do you want to try and get something on that? Because what I was going to suggest is for the ADA people, this is a nice one to put by the sidewalk. And then we could actually put longer, they have longer tables, just like regular tables that are actually really nice because you don't have to step over.
like that type of thing.
Yeah. Well, and they probably have something like this too.
They do. Yeah.
Because the
Mhm.
problem with these with ADA is you got ADA position on both sides. But we only need, Missy, I think you said only one ADA table.
Yeah.
So we could have, if you have tables like this, kind of for the sidewalk. I don't think that this type would
Okay.
look good on the sidewalk, but if you can't get something, these are warranted for at least 20 years.
Yeah. I mean, you can, like, they have I'm just saying, like, it's
Yeah.
easy. They have everything that you have there, they would have here.
Can you send me the link to that? And how about I just pick some and
Yeah.
send them around by email?
That's
Does
perfect.
that work?
No,
So
that'd
we
be
don't spend so
fine,
much
that'd be
time.
fine,
Okay.
that'd be fine for, as far as I'm concerned, as
Great.
long as nothing's gonna rust and
They've been
these
at
maybe
OSB
look a
forever.
little nicer, but when we have to deal with vandalism, you're right,
Yeah.
maybe
That's good.
those are less vandalized.
I'll put it on the plan and I'll take care of it.
And what's his name's company,
Dave?
Dave's
he would have to.
company,
Yeah, he said, yeah, he
Yeah.
should. 'Cause-
and they're probably
so I'll
cheaper
check with
than
him. I'll
these.
send him a picture. of
Because
that.
these tables are all, but, and I like that type of design too, rather than have the climb. I mean, you said something similar, just to slide in to the table. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, like this type of table is a pain in the neck to get in and out.
Mhm.
Like compared to something like that, you see?
Mhm. Yeah.
So anyway, so that's good. So it would just be an all green, that the support beams would be all green. They wouldn't be black. Like,
No, I think they're black.
Mhm.
I do, like, and the top and the seats are the powder coated material.
that's guaranteed not to rust.
I mean.
Yeah.
Are they?
I'm going, yeah.
I'm pretty sure,
Are you
like,
sure?
I'll look into it. How about
Yeah.
I
that?
mean, we went to the
I'll-
historic
I'll-
district,
I
we went
will-
and we
I
did a
will
lot of
report
research
back.
on these things
I
before
will
we bought them.
report back.
I'm not gonna send you that link because I just Googled it quick,
Okay.
but I'll look at who we used
Okay,
at OSB and send that.
thank you.
Yeah.
Well, ladies, that would be fine.
Great.
I'm not sold on anything other than I was trying to get something that didn't need,
We got it.
maintenance and would look nice. So the green ones,
There's a lot of slobby kids at OSB and these ones look great, so.
yeah, okay. Oh, that's good to know. Okay. All right. So you look into that and then,
I don't know.
and then they're gonna be, I don't know what the price is, but these other ones cost like $1,500. They're probably even cheaper, I would imagine. I don't know.
I'll send quotes.
Let them find out.
Yeah, okay, yeah. All right. So we find out, and if that's the way to go, that's the way to go. Just make sure that if there are things to attach, that it's stainless steel.
Okay,
Okay,
definitely.
all right. You guys are good with that, Tim and Brendan?
Yes.
Okay, now the question is, if we can get one of these hexagonal tables for the handicap accessible, we can attach this to the sidewalk kind of as an entranceway, like right
Yeah.
on the sidewalk. Should we be getting the long tables, one or two?
How about I make a recommendation by email? I think it's gonna be at least two.
Two.
I
I
think
think,
it's two plus the,
yeah, especially if you have like the playground like here, you
You
can
wanna
have
help me
one
pick it?
here and one
Fine.
here, kind of,
okay,
You
Missy
can-
and I have got it.
Yeah, two.
Yeah,
I think we need at least two.
I agree.
Okay,
Perfect.
okay, all right. Good. Let's move on. Across lane playground repairs. Sarah, you had something about that in an email you sent me in landscaping. Yeah, Don explained it a little bit to me about just putting soft chips, but there's special soft chips around for the area
Yeah,
around.
that's right.
And Dave's gonna replace the tiles that were ruined
That's
by
right.
the,
And he included that in his estimate to us, the
oh,
tiles.
the tiles and
Yes.
whatever they call the soft wood chips now.
Right, so, Don, we have the yardage that we need and you were finding a way to pay for it
Yeah.
and trying to get, I guess, what's your update?
Oh,
from
for
town
for
departments?
cross
It'd
lane,
be pretty easy to pay for it, seeing it's required. I can
Yes.
make that sale.
yeah,
And I spoke to Ed about that too, and I have him convinced that Public Works will be involved at the very least of getting the stuff
Mhm.
and hopefully getting it and spreading it out as well.
Okay,
and if we have tables being
I
delivered,
think it's, right now is a bad time for Public Works because they're shorthanded seemingly every week for a couple weeks at least.
so I'll touch base with you in a couple weeks.
This time of year, his guys use up all their vacation time and they're always shorthanded and
Yeah,
problem.
okay,
But I got him convinced to help us out.
well, that's a big step.
that's good, seeing as it is a safety requirement.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's been a few years
Yeah.
that we've been asking for
Yeah.
it.
Oh, that's great. That's great then.
Yeah.
So that's all gonna work out. And I wasn't at the meeting, but when you speak to Dave, thank him for his work to help the community out
Okay.
on behalf of the Park and Rec. We really appreciate his help on everything. Okay, so that's it with the old business. Any new business?
I have something.
Yes, go ahead.
The president of the Tix Lacrosse Club, Oline resident, Alex Streckel, has requested to use Townwoods Park during the summer from June to into August, one night a week for a lacrosse program. And I told him that historically, we have basically shut the fields down to organized use after the Lime soccer camp usually. That's when lacrosse is usually over, soccer is usually over, camp's over. And we keep them empty for the month of July. We have our camp first week of August usually, in the attempt to make the fields in good shape for the busy fall. So he wrote this.
And that's worked out really well. I mean, going into the soccer season, the fields are in pretty good shape these days, right?
They're in very good shape.
Yes, okay, so that's worked.
So I suggested that they use the turf field over at the school. And apparently that because of the way the high school teams can play throughout the summer now for an extended period of time, that the turf field is booked up. And he's got a whole big explanation of the lacrosse program and what it takes to keep it going right up through the high school, which has very low numbers right now.
Can I make a suggestion to him that because it's worked out so well, resting the fields for about a month and a half before the big onslaught in the fall with soccer and all, that could he ask one of these other communities too to see if they can do this? I mean, that's been a challenge, I know. But has he asked, I mean, before everything's dependent on us again, could he ask Old Saybrook? Could he ask Valley?
I can talk to him tomorrow morning about that.
Do we think one night a week is gonna jeopardize the resting period? I'm
All
not,
I'm saying is that that's what we've done historically. I don't know if it would ruin it or not. I mean, these are not that older kids anyways. I mean, so.
What, how old are the kids? Oh,
We're all younger. Then goes. All his numbers start at K and pre-K and goes up to grade 8. I don't know exactly who's involved with this thing yet. That's what they're trying to put together.
and the other reason I asked to have him check into these other communities is that if they do it, then would soccer want to be doing it too? So it'd be more than just lacrosse, probably what'll happen. Human behavior. Anybody have comments about that? Brendan? Tim?
I just so. I mean, if we traditionally have done it and it's been successful for us, I don't know why we would move away from it. And again, I don't know if it will open up an avenue to other programs. I'm thinking not, but I don't know. That's a tough one. You don't want to turn the kids away, but you also don't want to ruin the fields.
Don, how much pushback have you gotten on this, do you think? I guess that my question ultimately is like, is this going to turn into a big fight potentially? Like they have with soccer and lacrosse?
I'm not sure exactly. I mean, he's doing his best to state the case and why they need it. I did not talk to him about using fields in other towns. It didn't get that far. We talked briefly and I told him I'd bring it up at this meeting and see what people thought.
Could it be some type of compromise with like using our fields and fields in other towns? Maybe.
I don't see why not, but again,
Yeah, that's what we would want to shoot for. We wouldn't want everything just dependent on us, especially since this has been our program for almost 20 years now, almost. And the fields do have to regenerate and grow a little bit after all the use.
We did not talk about using other towns. There's about 35% of the kids involved are from our area here. I will do that tomorrow morning because I'm sure he's maybe even listening tonight to see what's going on, or I know he'll ask about it tomorrow.
Well, I guess it's also like, I know historically we've rested the fields in July, but I don't know, there's part of, and I don't know anything about soil, but it's like, okay, just because we've done something historically doesn't mean we have to follow that all the time. We could change it up. Maybe we try, like, this is a trial year. Yeah, okay, one night a week is not hurting the fields at all. Then who cares? You know, it's nice to have them being able to play. I don't know.
If you take what the school does, the school shuts down the fields and they just say no.
They just say no. And in fact, it's just to let you, I don't think you guys were around when we made the fields out there. But Phil Neaton, who was the super at Blackhall Country Club, actually suggested this for the fields. He's an expert on grass and fields and everything else. And that's been the program we've used ever since we opened the park. And I agree with what the schools say. Sometimes it's tough, but you sometimes have to say no. However, if he could get the other communities to agree to some of the use, that might be a way to go. I mean, that's a little better.
It's a little tricky because if you compare it to like the softball or baseball field there, it's funny because those type of fields actually do better with more work, more activity, because it keeps the weeds and stuff out of the infields better than letting them sit there. It's kind of,
baseball's been on fine.
and you know, the outfields don't get much.
Yeah, there's not much wear and tear.
Versus a field where there's activity back and forth and a lot of activity in front of a goal mouth.
Yeah, that's the real problem is in front of the goal mouth.
I think I'll talk to him tomorrow and see what we can come up with, some kind of thing about other towns sharing uses, and we'll go from there. I think.
Okay.
Don, is he looking just to do July, just the month of July?
No, it's the tail end of June into the beginning of August. Let me find it here somewhere.
Well, I guess that if you go back, that's where I was headed. If you go back to him and say, you know, what about the other towns? And then he comes back and says, yeah, I can get 2 days a week. Do we have to have another meeting to discuss this? Like, how does that work? Because we won't have another meeting until July.
I'm not sure.
I mean, I think we could decide, okay, if that's the case. I mean, we're primarily talking about what, 4 nights?
Yeah, this is where I'm struggling because if it's like 4 or 6 nights, is doing 3 really going to make that material of a difference to 6?
If you look in front of the gold mouths after seasons, they get very worn.
Okay. My head is.
But what Sarah's saying is it's not a season.
It's like
you
6
know,
nights. It doesn't seem like that much, but I'm not a field expert. I have
Yeah.
a friend who took over for Phil Neaton, actually.
Oh,
I
really?
can ask him, but
Yeah.
I know nothing about turf science.
Well, yeah, Phil was our consultant. He was on our committee, actually, the Town Woods Park Committee.
I think the first thing I have to do is see what else is available from other towns or what they've said.
Yes.
And if other towns have already said no for some reason, well, that's telling everybody something.
Well,
Yeah.
and then I think we have to
They're all
decide as a
fields, too.
commission, are we saying, like, from here on out, are we saying the Townwood's fields are closed for the month of July? Like, then we have to, like, then I think that's what we stand by. Like, we put it out there, we put it in writing, like, you know, Townwood Park operates 11 months a year type thing. I mean, I know it's not 11, but you know, and state that, because I do think we're getting to the point where there's like these requests and we kind of just take everything as they come, and which is fine. Like, I think just because they're requesting to use it, you know, 2 hours once a week doesn't mean like, okay, now soccer club's gonna ask, and you know, maybe they are, but I don't know. I feel like we have to figure out like what our protocol is.
Well, we can always add that to it, but if the school says no, other communities say no, why shouldn't we say no?
Or the argument could be made, if we have 35% of the kids that are old line kids and we have the space, should we say yes? I just throw that out there. I mean, I think that-
35%, it's not even half. But anyway, I know what you're saying, Brendan, but
But still, but I guess that where I would be going with that would be, and I'm not saying I'm advocating this position, but if I'm playing devil's advocate, I would say, if we have 35, let's say there's 100 kids and 35 of them are old line kids, and those kids want to play lacrosse and we have the space to do it. Just because the other towns say no, shouldn't we be able to offer that to our 35 old line kids? That's just I can see that argument coming. I don't know if it's right, but it is something to consider. And then I do have a question, which I don't know the answer to, but if we say that the fields are shut down in July, does that mean they're shut down? So if, I don't know, a family wanted to go there and kick a soccer ball around, would they not be allowed to
that's
do that?
perfectly okay. And if somebody wanted to go there with a group of kids and just throw the lacrosse ball around, that's okay.
Right.
It's an organized activity with lots of people. It's a different thing, Brendan. If anybody wants to go there and kick a soccer ball or play frisbee or anything like that, we of course allow that. But it's not an organized thing with potentially over 100 people or more.
Yeah, Don, did he say how many kids it would be?
No, not that I see here. He was just, because yeah, I think he's trying to put it together, but he needs
Yep.
trying to figure out where he can do it first, you know, or in
And would
combination with it.
And would it be one night a week to like run a, you know, like a skills session, or would it be games? I don't know if that matters. My kids only play the cross.
Well, I think
I don't know how they.
It's supposedly a skill session type of thing, but I'm not sure what that really means.
That should certainly would, being back a coach back in those days, there's always scrimmages, even if it's just a skill thing.
I would also wager though, just knowing how kids are, and in particular in the summer, I don't know how many kids are in the Tix lacrosse. Do you think that there would be close to even 100 kids doing that?
No.
Doesn't that seem high?
Yeah, I think so.
Probably 40.
I don't know, that'd be a good thing, not only find out about other towns, but what are the numbers you're talking about? And
I guess where I'm going though, Bob, just with these questions that we have, that I don't want to put Don in the position of asking all these questions, and then we come back in July, and then we have more questions on that, and the next thing you know, it's September, and nothing's moved on it. I just wonder if maybe what we do is we say either no, like outright no, we vote on it, we say no, or we say, yeah, 2 days a week seems reasonable, or 2 days a month, or 2 sessions a month seems reasonable, like split it up with another town, or we say get in there 4 nights a week.
4 nights a week.
I don't want Don
think he's
to
only
be the
asking for
liaison
one.
back and forth. You know what I mean?
But Don, wait, I'm getting
He's asking
confused.
No, he's just,
He's asking for one night a week, right?
Yeah.
Right, that's what he's asking for, Brendan.
Yeah. But I guess what I'm saying is, do we now vote on this? Because what happens a lot, and I know how the lacrosse people are. I do. They have a million lawyers who are in there, and they all have in the past, you know, outside of Park and Rec meetings, contacted me just about, well, what about this? What about that? And I don't want that to be Don. I don't want Don to have to field that when there is no answer from the commission on this. I think that's partly part of their frustration. So I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm wrong on that, Don. You would know better than me. I'm just more so looking out for you, whether or not we should just vote on this now. So then it's over.
Brendan, how do you guys feel about Missy's, like, hey, we're gonna try this summer as a trial basis to see what kind of impact the fields, it'll have on the fields. But going forward, if it's negative impact on the fields, we're gonna go back to what we have originally done. If we find that it's not negative impact to the fields, then we will continue to take people's feedback if they want to do something.
Yeah, and I think you could take that and even expand upon it and put more stipulations like, all right, it's a trial run. We'll try it for 4 nights in July for 2 hours, like he hasn't given you any details. Like, we don't want him to come back and be like, great, we're going to use the fields from noon until 8, like 2-hour skill session once a week for 4 weeks in July and see how it goes and then reevaluate from there. It's kind of like when we talked about the temporary lights at Cross Lane, like, let's just do it and see how it goes. And it went fine. There was no issues. There was no problem. So why don't, I just think it's nice to be open and welcoming to kids that want to play sports.
Bob, I have a procedural question. If they come back and they say it's 50 kids 1 night a week, can we just in an email say, yeah, that sounds good? Or do we have to call a special meeting to approve that? Or if they come back and say it's 25 kids, how do we do that without voting on this now? Don't we have to do this now, or do we not? If not, then we can get as much intel as we need and get an answer to them in a week.
Well, being that we've only had 20 minutes to discuss this, it's not like we're hearing it for the first time, Brendan. And I think the idea of maybe trying it, but with stipulations. This is not for games. Are they going to play in sneakers? Are they going to play in cleats? They're probably going to play in cleats, right?
Well, I would imagine if they're playing lacrosse, it's the full lacrosse experience. I would think that should be assumed by us.
Yeah. But to Brendan's point, he just wants to make sure that this doesn't drag out, and that if we are going to let them use it in July, let's get them word so they can use it in July, not wait until.
Even if we're not, right? Or not. I think it makes sense to maybe vote on this, and we can discuss it more now. What's going to happen, Bob, is the meeting in July is going to get canceled because nobody's going to show up, and next thing you know, we're in August and it's over.
Also,
And
he
then
wants
they're
to start
really
at
going
the
to
end
be
of
kicked
June.
off.
Brendan, I don't know if you got that.
I have
What's that?
there.
Yes, please.
I think, but again, I'm not voting. I think we should allow them to do this. I will talk to him about, are there other options from other towns? And then if there isn't, and we allow them to do this, say from the last week of June or whatever, the first week of August, so it ends up being like 6 weeks or whatever, 7 weeks, whatever the calendar says, then we have even more information that by using this field during this time for these hours by this kind of kids does this to the field. We're not going to do it next year because if we share it with other towns, it just proves that we need the help from other towns at the same time. I don't think that there'll be enough damage from this to be detrimental, but that's my opinion.
Where are they going to set up the goals? Where they've always been set up? I mean,
Yeah.
that would be helpful if the goals weren't set up at the same spot where in front of the goals is where all the wear and tear really is.
I understand it.
So we could grant a
I don't know the age group yet. I don't know the size of the field they want, whatever. No, I don't know that stuff yet.
Yeah, and the other thing, Don, is traditionally during the summer, we don't have to line the fields. We wouldn't have to line these fields, would we? Because
He said that I think they would like field lining and they will pay for it. That's what he said.
Okay, that's fair.
yeah, that would certainly be one consideration, but if they're gonna pay for it, okay. That would be better than us paying for it. And the other thing is that we have to, if soccer hears they're doing it, and if soccer decides they want to do it too, well, then it'll be twice as much use. And so we could do it as a temporary and see how it all works out, and then come with a more permanent decision at the end of the summer.
So right now, you don't have any information.
What's that? Do you agree? Somebody said?
That's me. I didn't mean to interrupt, Tom, but I was going to say to the point about soccer, lacrosse asked. They didn't. I mean, lacrosse asked. Soccer hasn't. So if we're approving this for lacrosse, I think we have the leeway to do that. I don't think we have to be totally fair with everybody. They asked. Soccer hasn't. That would be my position.
I just don't think we have any test data of when it does get used. We just assume that's,
Yeah, we've been doing that forever, not using it.
Right.
And everything's turned out really well. And okay, you want to let them do it. But I still go back to the thing that why is everything at Townwoods Park? Why aren't some of these other communities? I know Old Saybrook's making an attempt.
because we're such nice people.
I mean, well, and like we have a really nice,
I know everybody
Other
wants to
towns
play
don't
there.
have, you
We have the
know.
nicest facility.
yeah.
Yeah.
Valley Regional has a very nice facility up at their high school field now. They have a new turf football field. They have a new turf baseball field, the new softball field.
Valley does?
Yeah, new lacrosse. They got all new stuff.
So then,
So there's no reason for them not to share a thing anymore.
right, that was their reason for a while. They just didn't have these fields. So,
Yeah, but that's at the school, right? That's up to the school to let people use it, not,
Well, that's where there always was though.
yeah.
They spent $15 million to put all these fields up there, so they better use them.
or could we make it that that's fine with us if we could get the other communities to also donate one night, 1 week of the month that they ask? I would feel more comfortable with that than just once again, just old line. But you guys,
I fall back on what Don said, which is maybe it's not a bad idea for us to just at least have the knowledge, and this is an opportunity for us to get it, just how it works in July. We just don't know because it's never happened, and maybe people have asked in the past, or maybe they haven't. I don't know. But now that they are, is this advantageous? Is this an opportunity for us to at least find out? And look, maybe we even throw out the stipulation if after 2 sessions the field's scrapped, we scrap them. You can do why can't we do that?
I guess one of the things we could do, because if there is extra wear and there's a drought and could we have extra irrigation done? Probably, but then again, we would have to pay.
Well, we have irrigation there anyways. If the field needs irrigating, we irrigate it,
Well, I know, but
whether somebody's on it or not.
yeah, okay, all right. You guys somebody want to make a motion to do this on a trial basis on the stipulation that it'll be reevaluated and then a final decision made after this month's worth of use? Is that what you want, Brendan?
Well, I'm not entirely sure I want this generally. I just, based on its face, I don't want to deny it. And if we're going to make I guess, and I'm doing this on the fly, if I was going to make a motion, and it's going to be a little wordy, it would be something to the effect of, we agree to allow lacrosse to play on the fields from what the dates that Don had said, end of June to the beginning of August, up to
1 night.
4 nights a week, only, or subject to them seeking approval from other towns. And we reserve the right to end this at any point in time. And if they don't like that, then don't come.
Very
But
good.
if they do like that and it's an opportunity for them, then I think we should offer it to the kids in Old Line.
With those stipulations, I liked what you just said, Brendan, better than just giving a blanket yes, because I really think, especially since Valley now has fields, why aren't they contributing when third of the cross people are coming from that approximately?
Can I throw one thing in here? I'm just reading it now. 1 night a week for the summer, approximately June 25th through August 20th is what he says.
Oh,
here.
so it's the whole summer, not just 1 month.
No, it's not just a 1 month, no.
No, he said
I think
that,
that changes the equation a little bit for us, I would say.
That's 8 weeks, basically, as opposed to 6, which we were.
No, that's the whole summer.
So we were talking
Because
6
then,
weeks or now we're 8, so.
because soccer then starts up at the end of August, right, Don? Regular
Well,
soccer.
Usually when they give me the schedule,
8 or 9 weeks. It's not so much more than we were thinking.
That's more than a month, and I thought that's what the guy was, yes.
No, Don said that right. We were only talking about July because July is the month we typically rest the fields. He wasn't ever talking about just July.
Yeah.
It's just we are talking about.
I forget exactly how I said it, but in our initial conversation, we were talking about with him. I was talking with him about what we do in July.
Mhm.
So
And July is the.
I personally don't think it's a bad idea as a trial with some stipulations, with reserving the right that you can shut it down like we could have with anything. If there was damage to a field, we shut it down. I don't personally.
Okay, Brenda, that sounds good. You want to put that motion down? Geez, I hope somebody's can record this motion. But, okay, so give it a shot, Brendan, and then we'll let AI, we'll do it, that actually transcripts this stuff. Let's see what it says.
Brendan, wait, before you give the motion, Brendan, the only thing is we're not talking at all about 4 nights a week. So just include in the motion 1 night a week.
1 night a week.
Right, 1 night a week from, how about a time, from 6 to 8 or some time, or just to make sure they're not out there for 3 or 4 hours, or?
I don't think that that's a bad idea to put like I don't think we need to tell them the specific time, but I think to put a time limit on it is not a bad idea.
For just a couple hours?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah, a couple hours. All right.
What do you think?
I think so.
I like that. Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, okay, so Brendan,
I probably should have forwarded his email to everybody. before
yeah,
the
because we
meeting.
just found out about it now.
Should he say?
Well, I just got,
We got this.
Yeah, I'm not blaming
It's
you
fine.
because you just got it, but this guy who wrote in should have gave a little lead time.
well, we talked about it a few days ago, but I said I would bring it up at the
Yeah,
meeting.
okay,
And then on Tuesday, this last email came out, so.
yeah, okay. No, I'm not. Don, I'm not blaming
Does 2
you.
hours seem like consistent with what they're asking, or they didn't specify?
What's that?
Does 2 hours seem consistent with what he's asking, or
I
he
don't-
didn't specify?
I don't think it says in here.
We could say for 2 hours.
But that's tough, because if you're gonna run a clinic and you have it for 2.5 hours, and we say 2 hours,
I know, that's my only concern.
I
I think
I don't think they're gonna go crazy and own the field for 8 hours.
Yeah, I agree. Maybe no time specified.
no,
Okay, all right, Brendan, give it a shot.
And they said, right?
We approve, or I make a motion to approve the request by the lacrosse club to use Townwoods Park from the dates referenced in the email, which escaped me. 1 night a week upon conditioned upon,
yeah, 1 night a week.
yep, conditioned upon them paying for the lining of the field, as well as our discretion.
The PRC's
Or just-
discretion, yes.
Yeah, the Park and Rec Commission's discretion relating to the health of the field. That's terribly worded, but it's something to that effect. Sarah, if you want to fix that, by all means.
Good.
But
Or
you
you
know,
want, you want to put it in writing? Brendan, since these guys seem to bother you if they don't get their way. You want to
that's
work
fine.
on?
I can shoot out an email on it, but do we have to vote
Yeah, I
on
think
this
we have
now?
to.
Oh, yeah, okay, so. Okay, yeah, if we're gonna vote, let's do it now, because no one wants to have another meeting just to
How
vote.
about this? Instead of saying conditions, we can just say the PRC reserves the right to cancel at any time. I think we can leave that open-ended.
Yeah.
And if they have a problem with that, then don't use the field.
And-
Because I'm all for being fair, but at the same time, people do get pushy,
Well,
and then too bad, don't use it. And I don't think that they'll have any problem with that.
Do we want to put in that stipulation that they check with Valley and also Old Saybrook to see if they
Oh,
can?
yes, thank you. Yeah. With a further condition that they inquire with what towns are involved with the ticks? Saybrook, Deep River, Chester, Old Lyme, Essex.
It's a 3-part mix: Lime, Old Lyme, Old Saybrook, and then the Valley area, which is Essex, Centerbrook, and Deep River.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, with a further condition that inquiry is made with, all of the towns that provide that make up the co-op. For use of their facilities as well.
Scenario is if nobody else contributes field space and we find out that this is detrimental to the fields, then we have a solid case to show why we shouldn't do something and the effect of somebody else, 65% of the club not contributing. We have the proof.
We have the proof and it's kind of we're trying to appease people and do the right thing, but also we'll be able to say, here's your concrete evidence as to why we can't do it.
Okay, so
And not just like we
let me,
don't want them to.
who can write faster than me? Or should I try and write this down, this motion?
Why would we write it down? Isn't it being recorded?
It's being recorded.
Oh,
We're good.
okay,
Yeah, Mary, I mean, he just said it beautifully.
okay.
Mary Ellen will
Yeah,
just-
but you're gonna add the stipulation about checking with the other towns.
I think it's.
Okay, sounds fine. Anyone, you're making the motion, Brendan, anyone want a second?
Second it.
Okay. All right, any more discussion on it? No? Okay,
You should probably just say your name to second it.
I will second it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, right, and it was made by Brendan and seconded by Missy. Just to make sure the transcript comes out. Right, okay. All right, no more discussion on that. All those in favor?
Hi.
Okay, anyone opposed? No? Anyone not gonna say anything? No? Okay, it passes. So we'll see how it works out on a trial basis.
I'm
Okay,
sure they're gonna take it very seriously to inquire with the other towns, knowing that even if the towns say no, we're gonna say yes.
okay, because we want to help the kids out.
I
We
know,
want-
I
we-
agree.
I don't understand why some of these other
We got
towns
it.
have a problem with that. My personal comment. All right, any other correspondence?
That's equity, Bob. That's equity when they want something else in the future. Just remember what we did for you in July of 2025. So we'll
Okay.
put that in our pocket.
Brendan, since they seem to talk to you all the time, you can remind them of that.
I
Okay.
absolutely will.
Okay, correspondence, no, public comment, there's nobody here.
I have something else for new business.
I'm sorry, you
It's
have,
not new business, but I just have a question.
okay.
And maybe I don't understand this at all, but did Park and Rec have anything to do with like fish at Cross Lanes Pond and having a fishing derby and doing all that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the only thing we did is they used, firemen did it.
Okay.
Oh, I remember that as a kid.
I was thinking, like, the other day we were walking
They
across
just-
lane
they
and,
Just give me the day that they were gonna do it.
okay. I just
So-
feel like it would be nice if we could do stuff like that, something like that.
You're up.
You're up, go talk to the fire department. They're the ones that did it.
Okay.
I'll help you.
They
Like, it would be
I
so
remember
fun
that
for
as
the
a kid.
kids.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
my kids.
But is that-
They stocked the pond.
Yeah,
They were
right?
fun.
Like, stock the pond. I mean, how much does it cost? I asked Pete that. He didn't know.
All right.
All right.
Okay, we just gave them permission to use it. The fire, they,
But that couldn't be a Park and Rec thing that we stock the pond.
Go for it.
I would say, let's see if the fire department wants to do. It was very successful in the past, would they like to do it again?
Help get the geese.
Can I add something to that?
Yeah.
My son fishes down there all the time. He loves to fish. So he goes down there. The problem with restocking that pond, as I see it, would be, I'm amazed that those fish survive the summer. Amazed.
Yeah.
Because and I don't know where they go or how they do it. It really is a wonder. But I wonder if we do that, does that mean that pond needs to also either have like some type of sprinkler system, some type of ability to replenish the water?
Create more
that is the
oxygen.
thing. Like in August, that place is rough.
Oh, God, it is.
But that was something they did at the very beginning in the spring, when there was
Yeah.
more rain and things like that, Brendan, I think.
Yeah,
So-
definitely.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, Bob, is if we restock it, there's bass in there, there's sunfish in there. But if we stock it, which I'm all for, that would be awesome. I don't know if it's going to be a catastrophe later on, because I do not know how those fish survive.
Yeah, well,
You just gotta get a lot of kids down there to catch them first.
Right.
Okay, well,
Indeed.
you get an update from your son, how the fishing is down there and.
I don't know. I was just thinking like Max is very into fishing right now and like they're always looking
Sure.
for new little places to go fishing and it's like a nice
Rogers Lake,
hidden gem for,
Rogers Lake.
no, I know, but it,
It's not like there isn't a place to fish.
yeah, right?
Haven't
All right, we're gonna look into this.
Yeah, look into, ask the fire department, if it's successful in the past, would you consider it again for next spring, whatever?
Remember
Okay.
Norm Emerson?
No.
He was the guy who ran it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, not a bad idea, but let's see if the fire department wants to help on that. Okay, all right, correspondence, no, public comment, no one's here. Motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
I second it.
All right, all in favor? Okay, good
Aye.
night.
Aye.
And
Bye,
everyone,
guys.
everyone have a nice summer. That it's finally summertime.